Ohio State got its first shutout over a Big Ten team for the first time since 2017 in a 56-0 win over Rutgers. Today, though, it's a 45-0 win over Purdue. Will Howard in this game, 21 of 26 for 260 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also had 7 yards rushing. He got sacked a couple of times, though. He took credit for that. We'll blame for those sacks on 9 runs and a touchdown as well. I'm Steven, that's Andrew, and that's Stefan. Andrew, what's your grade for Will Howard?
I think I'm at an A-. There were, a couple grades where, or a couple plays during this game where, you look at it and you're like, I got to be a little sharper than that. But I thought he played pretty well. He was efficient. I'm not blaming the turf monster for getting him a couple of times. I mean, he was running around like behind where the camera is. He slipped a couple of times. Like he said after the game, like, feel bad that my offensive line has to take that sack. I thought he played pretty well. He was efficient. I thought the offense moved pretty well. The deep corner pass to Jeremiah on that side of the field I thought was a really, really nice throw. That was probably his best throw of the day, because then he had another one to Carnell over there, which you looked at me and immediately were like, that drill when they hold up the pads and they
don't hold up any pads there. They just have a net and you have
a net.
It's called a 1-inch drill.
You throw it over and you try to kind of thread that needle, and he did that really well. So yeah, I thought Will Howard had a really nice game, running the ball too. I think that's part of it as well. You worry about him running the ball against Purdue, a team that doesn't have a win over an FBS team, but I thought him running the ball was, a nice sign for Ohio State's offense. So yeah, I'm in an A-. I thought he was pretty good today.
Stefan, what's your...
I'll go. Who wants to talk about this first?
Go ahead. I'll let you have it first.
Here I'm going to do a little Andrew Gillis analogy here for everyone. When you're in school and you have grades and an exam is a huge part of that grade and all this and that, usually getting a 9 out of 10 on a homework assignment doesn't affect your grade that much. Every incompletion or slip that Will Howard has is -3 letter grades completely in the eyes of Andrew Gillis. I mean, it's what an A-. It was an A. What else did you want from him today? He slipped a couple times and had a few incompletions. Okay, it's called football. It happens. And he was on point. They put up 45 points with relative ease, and you were able to bench the starters by the time the fourth quarter got around. You probably could have even sat them early if you wanted to. That it was clean. It was what they asked him to do. I'm not going to dock him much for an underthrown ball or a slip in a game where they won 45-0. Now, if he underthrew that when it's 14-14 in the fourth quarter, we can have another discussion. It's just in this game, he did so much right, especially like you said there, Andrew, with using his legs too. I can't fault him on much. It probably was, maybe it wasn't his best game of the season, but it was definitely his cleanest game of the season. And after a few weeks of constantly saying, you can't have this mistake, you can't have this mistake, and he's had some glaring ones the last few weeks. In a game where he's clean like that, it's hard to dock him anything below an A.
You literally took what I was going to say. This was his cleanest game of the year. He didn't make any mistakes. Even the sacks, to your point, I mean, look, man.
Who cares?
Sometimes the turf monster sometimes the turf monster gets you. The other one, that's kind of on him. But the thing is, he took the blame for both of those sacks in those situations.
Purdue's best defense.
With Mother Nature.
Not even. It's turf. It's not even real grass. It's man-made.
Whatever these grass pellets are.
Okay, no, that's a fair point. I think if you want to dock him for the Carnell Tate underthrow, just given the fact that we're 9 games in and it seems like it's a problem and you're trying to figure out, sure. I just don't know, to your point, if it's enough of a dock in a game where it's already decided to knock him enough points for that in that situation. They got to figure out the deep ball stuff. And I've been rewatching games. I'm going to continue to do that. And I'll probably talk about it, I think, on the Wednesday pod. But I'm trying to figure out if it's him, if it's timing, if it's the receivers, if it's maybe he just doesn't have it, the arm strength, what it is. Because some of those things on the list of reasons for why you can't connect on a deep ball is because it's something you can't fix. Some of those things you can continue to work on. So I'm trying to figure out which one it is. I felt the Carnell Tate one was just him. He didn't put it out there enough. But then he has other ones where it's the timing is off, right? So I'm trying to figure out what that is. But again, yeah, man, it's 45-0. It's an A. It's an A.
I technically gave him an A, too.
Yeah, you gave him the Andrew type of. It's an A. We don't have to go longer. We can continue this conversation on Buckeye Talk. So go listen to that wherever you find podcasts. Andrew has obviously been the toughest grader when it comes to Will Howard, so we have to give him some time for that.
Yeah, if you tune into the podcast, he'll give the defense a D-.
That's Stefan. That's Andrew. I'm Steven. Will Howard, 21 of 26 for over 260 yards and 2 touchdowns. No interceptions, no turnovers. Played clean. And that's what matters most here. They played clean, and Ohio State did whatever it wanted to do against an opponent they were always going to be able to do. That's all that matters most this week. Get the text 614-350-3315. 2 week free trial, $3.99 after that. Talk to you guys later.